CPI can help you build your business intelligence. We recognize that there's a lot of data out there, and there's so much of it that you may need help organizing it. You might need help building KPIs and metrics to help define and build the kind of graphs and charts that Kathleen was just showing you. So please give us a call if you need any assistance at all. We're happy to help. We like to focus on, in our approach, looking at each solution as not only a transaction but a business result based on information. So we would sit with you and gather all the different requirements, help you define those requirements, and then build the reports and analytics. But you can do a lot of it yourself as well, as you've seen today. So you have a lot of different options, but if you run into any trouble or need any help, we're always here for you. And these are some of the different services that we provide in the BI discipline. We break our process into 4 different elements: discovery, which basically means sitting down with you, gathering requirements, finding out what you're setting out to do; design, which is designing solution hand in hand with you the whole way; actually developing the solution and then deploying it, involving training of the different personnel on your team who need to interact with the BI reporting system. And we offer a wide variety. I'm not going to go into all these, but everything from scoping, wireframing, schema design, KPI and metrics development, the actual report building, sharing across your teams, etc. We can help with all those things, along with QA, normalization of the data, cleanup. Dashboards are probably the #1 request that we get at CPI. So we're very happy to help with that. We have a lot of experience in that area as well. So we're happy to be of assistance. This is our contact information. And would like to thank all of you for joining today. Really appreciate your time, and I'd just like to open it up to Q&A.
Does anybody see where this might be of benefit to your organization?
Yeah. Yeah, there's I think 100 different ways you can probably utilize this, but obviously you don't want to overwhelm the end user with 100 different. It's like going into a restaurant and having 100 different choices. It'll take you an hour just to order. And the name of the game is to make it more efficient. You want to. So, if that being the case, are you able to allow different groups within your organization to utilize certain tools and restrict some of the other tools from some other departments or groups?
Yes. Basically what they have is what they can see in terms of a model that's created. Of course, if they are going to be creating models, then they have the ability to do that. But also, what data you are going to allow them to access. And then also, there's that, are they going to be able to see the model, or are they going to be able to manipulate it and, do those filterings and the pivots that we talked about. So all of that can be controlled per individual. So that's part of the control over what they have access to.
I'd make a comment too, just that Microsoft, it's a culture thing too for every business. Microsoft, you saw the site that Kathleen showed that had the featured reports and then the natural language questions. So I think our IT department tries to make it easy for us as employees to see, like I said, 100 different choices. But here are like the top 5 reports, or here are the featured ones that most employees want to use. But at the same time, we have that open culture in our company that allows literally the receptionist can here, the administrator can actually access the same site and do data analysis all the way up to the senior executive. And I think that open culture is a key part of something you guys should consider too, because you'd be surprised at allowing this type of powerful, visualized, easy data analysis that users can now get to, and what you might discover about your company, or somebody in your company might be able to utilize this to do their job better, or find something innovative that will ultimately help your company. So that's another thing I'm sure you'd want to consider is what type of culture do you want to have to unlock some insights and give that power to your users.
On the flip side of that, though, as well, of course, it's important to have some level of standardization when you're measuring against KPIs and metrics, so that you can base performance in a very fair and systematic way as well. So I think there's value to both sides of that coin, because otherwise users may become overwhelmed with the ability to get to so much data that they may interpret it in several different ways if there's not a streamlined focus on certain key metrics as well.
What's the kind of online training resources for it right now in terms of if I want to deploy it to people in my organization? I don't necessarily want to go have to train, obviously, ultimately. It's a pretty new rollout, right? And like how fleshed out is that online training?
So specifically for the Excel products themselves,
Right.
we're going to be working on some videos at CPI that show basically what you've seen today. But to tailor an individual solution for your business, that's one of the different features in this slide right here. There we go. That we would if we build a custom solution for you, we would be happy to come in and make a training video that you can share via SharePoint or however you would like to do so within your own internal organization. So obviously what you've seen today from Kathleen, there's a lot of power in that, but the real value and benefit comes from tailoring that to a very specific need, and that's designing the solution around your business requirements. We'd be happy to help you with that.
There's probably some Microsoft
Oh, absolutely.
online training
Yeah.
available on Power BI, and Power Pivot, Excel, some stuff that you guys can download.
And you can see demos of Power Pivot, this is, all I did is just Google, I went to the IE and typed in Power BI Microsoft, and it took me, this was the first thing on Bing, and it took me to, you can click on, look at the demos, you can look at data discovery, and right here, that's not it, I'm sorry, I went to it earlier. Here we go. Power View and Power Map. If you click on this after typing in Power BI, you can see a lot of training and some videos as well. See Power Map in action. And then there's a cool video.
But it's fairly high level. I mean, you're not going to get
Right.
the deep training.
You're not going to give it to someone who doesn't know how to make
No.
a pivot table already. Let them get
That's-
after it.
That's right. That's why, once again, for a custom solution for your own organization, we'd be happy to come in and do that.
Right.
What's nice there though, and this actually, I didn't know that we had this, was it looks like there's some examples for specific departments like sales and marketing, HR, operations.
Yeah.
So that's pretty nice that we did that.
Cool. Any other questions?
So
Yes.
is this going to be part of Dynamics, or is it going to be something you add on to get reports, like CRM?
Yes, you can do it either way. Primarily add-ins though.
Or do you add?
Yeah.
And then I kind of missed also, does this work with the, cloud deployment of Excel? Or is it only the on-premise?
No, it's what the second part that I showed you, where you have to be able to post it up there, and then
Right.
the language query and all those capabilities, that requires Office 365.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the first part was you could actually just do that with what you have with Excel.
Okay.
But the second part, to be able to take advantage of posting it up there, and
Postings.
then the connection to the different databases and so forth, the automatic updates, the ability to get reports, in terms of usage and that type of thing, that's all requires the Office 365 Power BI component.
Okay.
And I think you showed this, but what was that cost structure for the Power BI add-on for Office 365, or is that already included?
Well, there's 3 different models of that. So the first one is if you already have Office 365 E3 or E4, then it's, right now there's a promotion that's $20 per user.
Okay.
And then there's also one where standalone, so that you don't already have it. It's $40 per user. And then finally a standalone, and you don't have Office 365, Pro Plus, and that would be $52 per user.
And that's just the Power BI component?
Mhm.
Okay.
And it's very simple to add. I mean, literally, if you guys have Office 365, you go in your portal, you say add licenses, and then you'll see the Power BI option.
Oh, yeah, good point, yeah, it is very easy to add, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Have you seen Windows 9 yet?
No, I haven't, I've heard about it, but I haven't seen it yet.
I'm just curious as to why they're going straight from Windows 8 to Windows 9 without even a service release.
Well, we did have an update. We have a Windows 8.1 update that we just released now. And I think what you're going to see is there will be more releases that occur. You know, it used to be it would be like 2 to 3 years, but now what we're doing is, you know, not this big overall or, you know, complete rehaul or whatever I'm trying to say. Every 3 years, we're kind of bringing out enhancements on a regular basis.
So is it going to be more like an SaaS software operation, Windows 9?
Software as a service in terms of, I think the focus really is to not have different versions, if, you know, a little bit of a difference if you're running a phone compared to a PC compared to a slate device, for example, or a tablet. We want to have the same thing on all of them, and that's really where the focus of Windows 9 is going.
Oh, towards Linux?
Well, not sure if you're but
Your question is really, is Windows 9 going to be more cloud-centric, cloud-based than past products, right? That's the general question.
and we're not trying to become like Google. I mean, we feel that we have advantages not being like Google, which is, by the way, all cloud-based. So,
No, more like
yeah.
QuickBooks, where they have a, you know, you pay a monthly fee now instead of buying the software.
Yeah,
Actually, we have that with Windows Intune, right? So there's something called Windows Intune where you can get our operating system
upgrades.
through a monthly price.
An upgrade, yeah, you can upgrade, right? And that allows you to manage the device, it allows you to provide a software store so that you could, as a company, you can create software and store it in for users to get access to. You have a number of different capabilities provided with Intune, but that does give you upgrade rights. But I don't, from what I'm seeing at this point in time, there's no discussion around, you know, moving Windows operating system to just a cloud-based.
Well, it will cut down on piracy.
That's true. That's a good point. Yeah.
How secure is the cloud? That's a tough question, but how secure is the cloud?
I mean, I would tell you, so I manage the small medium business for Microsoft for this Southwest area, so all of Southern California, Las Vegas, and Hawaii. And I'll tell you right now, we have about 180% year-over-year growth on the cloud, and that's including Azure and Office 365. And customers as big as Starbucks and Coca-Cola and Microsoft, obviously, have moved to the cloud already. Governments, City of San Francisco, I believe, military, and then small businesses, all the way from 5 users to 100 to 200 users. Obviously, there's several customers here that have Office 365. So all I can tell you is that based on the numbers of how many customers we're seeing moving to the cloud, I would say security is solid, because if it wasn't, we wouldn't be getting this much growth. And there'd be a lot of these customers that would not go to the cloud if it wasn't secure.
And yes, that's proof in the pudding. And then there's also a really good document that's the Trust Center for Office 365 that you can go to, and it will talk about all the certifications. We're the only cloud solution that's been certified in Europe, for example. We have HIPAA compliancy and a number of different compliancies that will be discussed there. And also, I think one of the other things too that differs us from our competition is that the data, if you think about it, is encrypted, not only when it's sitting on your device here, because we have BitLocker encryption, but then when it's sent to the cloud, it's encrypted, and then when it's up in the cloud, it's encrypted again using BitLocker, so that it's constantly encrypted. And at any time, Microsoft doesn't have access to your data because of the fact that it's encrypted, so that you're the, as the end user, you own what we call the private key, and so you're the only one that can actually decrypt the information. You know, we're talking about like in an Azure scenario where you're storing your data up in the cloud, separate from Office